Okay, my name is Anthonia Mwanze from Nigeria, and I work at the Deputy Chairperson's office. To answer your question, what makes me optimistic about
Africa?
I don't want to say about Africa necessarily. I mean, I want to say I'm optimistic about its future and its potential, because even higher, in such an office, the advantage is you get to learn a lot about what is really going on. You mix, you engage, you speak with, you rub shoulders with the who's who, you know what I mean? You get to learn a lot about policy, about administration, about financing, all of which is affecting everything we're talking about today. But the part that is the most interesting is you see why there's so much interest in Africa, so there's a lot of potential. It's even that might be an understatement. There's a lot of hidden wealth, natural resources, human resources that that Africa is not tapping into. That's the problem. And there's a lot of non-Africans who are willing to tap into it for us. So being who I am there, actually I'm listening to a lot of the conversation. And I came late, I apologize. But one question I think we need to ask ourselves is, what is the role of the youth in Africa's development agenda? Because we're all here youth today, we're not going to be youth tomorrow. So we need to understand why we are fighting for the youth, why we are fighting for policies. What's the point of a policy? If a policy is made, so what? Because of course I don't know how long some of us have been here. If you attend the summits, you see policies are made, resolutions are made, decisions are made. So what? If that's what you're here to fight for, so that there's one more, think twice. So we need to. I come from the private sector, so I like to think outside government sometimes. So you need to think, what if we never get to be presidents? What if you never get to be involved in this? Does that mean your role as a youth is done? Does that mean you're less effective? Does that mean you're less important? So we have to, even being in an organization such as the AU, we shouldn't get lost in the politics and the bureaucracy and in the facade that this might be the savior to Africa in the way it is constituted at the moment. So I personally believe we all have a role to play, whether you're an engineer, a teacher, healthcare worker, religious leader. You all have a role to play in Africa's development agenda. And to wait for some big miracle to happen in government, in our individual governments, we're waiting for a very long time. So while we're here, we should soak up as much knowledge as possible. Learn as much. I learned a lot about diplomacy. I learned a lot about government relations. So does that mean I'm going to work for government? I don't know. Does that mean I'm going to necessarily use it only in government? You can use it in private sector. You can take what you learn here and go and open your own business. Create jobs, hire young people, hire older people. Because we all have a role to play. We can share. We have knowledge to share. I don't know her name. She said something about being abused as a youth. My father always says, this is your time. Be abused. Stay down there, work, and do the hard work. You will not be appreciated. That's fine. It's your time. They've been youth at some point, but you will not always be a youth. So put your head down and do what you've been asked to do. Tomorrow, you will be somewhere else, and then you can do what you want to do. Do you understand what I mean? So it's just, and that's what it means to me. Learning the role of African Union, learning the potential of the African Union, learning the limitations of the African Union, and also looking for options, looking for other ways. And it's all about Africa at the end of the day. What can I do in my capacity to push forward this development agenda? So.